The galaxy is counting on us. Solo, we'll figure it out. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
Hello there. So the third episode of The Acolyte has dropped, and in a break from tradition for this channel, I do feel compelled to make some comments regarding the latest offering of Star Wars media. It's with little exaggeration that we can say that much of the Star Wars fan base, or at least what's left of it, are losing their minds over the show, and particularly Episode 3. Now, unlike other reviewers, I have no intention of commenting on the plot, the cinematography, the writing, the dialogue, the pacing, the characterization, the props, the special effects, the budget, the choreography, or the music, the runtime, or the cast. Furthermore, I have no interest in the politics or social justice agenda regarding race, gender, or sexuality. To those in communion with the Force, such variables are entirely superficial and should be of little, if any, consequence. Rather, what we will investigate are answers to some questions pertaining to the concern that there's been a manifest change in Star Wars lore regarding the Force as a result of this episode. I mean, here's an example from an admittedly idiotic Yahoo article. The Acolyte fans are praising new powerful Star Wars, and here we go. The Acolyte has just blown Star Wars lore wide open. But is that really true? So, first question. I mean, are there sects other than the Jedi and the Sith who recognize and use the Force? The short answer is yes, of course there are. The Knights of Ren, the Night Sisters of Dathomir, the Guardians of the Wills, the Great Mothers and the Dagoyans are all sects who practice and teach connection with the Force. In fact, Wikipedia lists over 100 such sects from the EU. So much like we do here on Earth, there are many different traditions surrounding connection to that ground of being, which is ubiquitous, immanent, transcendent, omnipotent, and omnipresent. The fact that the Acolyte story includes a sect of witches in exile on a remote planet is entirely in keeping with many other Star Wars stories, and nothing new. Indeed, if Gandhi was correct, the Force has no religion. So next question. Will all these sects use the same analogies when trying to describe the Force? The short answer is no. The Force is ineffable, and inevitably, when using even the most eloquent language, we can never cage the Force using words. The Jedi make various analogies. For instance,
the Force? The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
And unsurprisingly, their picture is picked up by the broader population.
There's no mystical energy field controls my destiny. It's all a lot of simple tricks and nonsense.
However, others, notably Qui-Gon, for instance, describe it as consisting of two parts, the living Force and the cosmic Force. Even within the Jedi Order, even between master and apprentice, the Jedi themselves make use of different language, conceptions, and analogies. Now, in The Acolyte, the witches prefer the analogy of a thread connecting all things, rather than a field connecting all things. Now, this thread can be pulled by those adepts with the skill to do so. And unsurprisingly, they use a different conception of the Force to that employed by the Jedi. And that makes perfect sense. The witches are not the Jedi, they don't seem to like the Jedi, and therefore they are going to make use of different analogies. In any case, there is no change in law here, and no change in what the Force is or does. Remember, from one of our own earthbound traditions, the Force that can be described is not the Force. The Force is just a name, from the Jedi Tao Te Ching, Chapter 1. Even when head witch Mother Anastasia fires a withering shot at Jedi words when she says, "Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. You get to make a choice." This is entirely in line with the fully canonical
You must do what you feel is right, of course.
The fact is that Ahsoka was right. In my experience, when you think you understand the Force, you realize how little you know. But rather than end on that slightly helpless note, let's turn to George Lucas's mentor, Joseph Campbell. This is what he thought we could say about the Force. The universal doctrine teaches that the visible structures of the world, all things and all beings, are the effects of a ubiquitous power out of which they rise, which supports and fills them during the period of their manifestation, and back into which they must ultimately dissolve. Its manifestation in the cosmos is the structure and flux of the universe itself. Now, normal service will return soon on this channel, but do let me know if you like this kind of content or not. In any case, may the Force be with you always.